Yeah, so everything is done. Shall we start?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah, okay. So Hare Krishna, my dear devotees. So today we will be reading the 8th chapter of Bhagavad Gita entitled Attaining the Supreme. So first we'll seek the blessings of Prabhupada. Om Akhyana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshuru Unmilitanmena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devam Gauravani Pratharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktaranda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukam karoti vacharam pangam langayate kirim yatkripa tadham vande Shri Guru Dinatarinam Pancha kalpatarubhyasya kripa sindhubhya evacha patitanam bhavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. I offer my most humble obeisances at the lotus feet of my eternal spiritual master, His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, and I seek his blessings so that I speak on this subject matter entitled Attaining the Supreme. Yesterday the chapter was knowledge of the Supreme. So in the beginning of yesterday's chapter, Krishna told the importance of hearing. So we know that our senses are limited, our senses are imperfect. We have an ability to be illusioned by this matter. So the best way to obtain knowledge is by hearing, Shravanam. Naham tishtanti vaikunta yogina hridayeshua yatra gayanti madbhakta tatra tishtanti narada. So Lord Krishna is telling to Narad Muni, I don't stay in Vaikuntha, I don't stay in the heart of yogis. I stay where my devotees glorify me. So when we chant the Hare Krishna mantra and when we read and we hear the transcendental sound from
Hello.
Prabhuji, your voice is not audible.
Prabhuji, your voice is not audible. Prabhuji, you're on mute.
Okay, now okay?
Yes.
I don't know where is till what you heard. You didn't hear anything?
I am there where
No,
the devotees from there.
Yeah. Naham tishtanti vaikunta yogina hridayeshva yatra tishtanti narade tatra tishtanti narada. That's what Krishna is saying, that I am not present in Vaikunta nor in the heart of the yogis. I am present where my glorification is done. So this process of hearing from the Shastras, from the bona fide spiritual master, so Krishna says, I am there where my glorification is there. I am present. That's Krishna is saying. Therefore, when we are there, then when we read from Prabhupada books, Prabhupada is there, and Krishna says, I am there. So this forms a favorable circuit for advancing in spiritual life. So in the next portion, Krishna said through 12 examples how he has pervaded in this material nature. So we drink water every day, and Krishna is saying, "I am the taste of water." So like that, the illumination of sun and moon is Krishna. The sound in the space is Krishna. The ability in a man is Krishna. So like that, that is the beginning point. How we can, see Krishna's presence everywhere. So when we start associating with Krishna like this, where is the question of losing Krishna? So in the third portion, Krishna described about four people who come to him and four people who rejected him. And in the last portion, Krishna discouraged the worship of demigods as well as the persons who maintain the you see who maintain the monastic contentions. So that was about the yesterday's chapter. So let us go today's chapter. So today's chapter is entitled "Attaining the Supreme." So in the yesterday's last verse, Krishna gave some terminologies like Adi Bhuta, Adi Yajna, Adi Daiva, like that. So today's chapter, Arjuna is asking those doubts. So the first verse, Arjuna is saying, Krishna, what is Brahman? What is the self? What are fruitive activities? What is this material manifestation? And what are demigods? Please explain this to me. And in the next verse, he's asking, how does this Lord of sacrifice live in the body? And in which part does he live? And how can those engaged in devotional service know me at the time of death? So Krishna is asking, Arjuna is asking 6 questions to Krishna. So here one important word Arjuna is using, Purushottama. So Arjuna has addressed Krishna as Purushottama. Purushottama means supreme personality of Godhead, which means that he is not putting these questions to an ordinary friend or a person, but to the supreme. So so that he will get the definitive answers from the supreme authority himself. And secondly is addressing Krishna as Madhusudana. So in one of the incarnations of Krishna, he had killed a demon called Madhu. So Arjuna shouldn't have got these, being a friend of and devotee of Krishna, he shouldn't have got these doubts. So therefore, he's addressing Krishna as Madhusudana. Just as you killed the demon Madhu, you kill my doubts. Those are the significances of the words using Purushottama and Madhusudana. So the first question was, what is Brahman? Brahman is indestructible and eternally existing. It refers to the living entity. It refers to us. But beyond this Brahman, there is Parabrahman. So Advaita philosophy, they maintain the contention of that only Brahman exists, and after we being liberated from this matter, we merge into that Brahman, monistic contention. So, but in Dvaita philosophy, you must have seen Madhvacharya also showing two. Two means there is Brahman and there is Parabrahman also. So the eternal constitutional position of this Brahman is to serve Parabrahman, who is Krishna. So in the material nature, we may be sometimes human beings, demigods, or animals. This happens because we have forgotten our constitutional position as Brahma, as Brahman. So this performing Krishna consciousness activities, we start our eternal journey towards our reclaiming our constitutional position. So next question Arjuna asked is, what is self? What is Adhyatma? So the Brahman, you see, he can identify himself as the body, as the mind, or as the soul. So this is the nature of that Brahman is called Adhyatma. Just for example, so if somebody asks me, my eternal constitutional position in this world as a human being, that is my core identity. So I can identify, I can say I'm an American, I'm an Indian, I'm a doctor, I'm an engineer. So those are my nature. So Brahman refers to the indestructible nature which cannot be separated, and other things. Adhyatma means how he identifies himself. That is Adhyatma. So in the next question is, what is karma? So karma is action pertaining to the development of material bodies is karma. So if we are in the material consciousness, then we try to lord over the matter, and based on that, we get material bodies. That is called karma. So then he's asking, what is Adi Bhuta? So Adi Bhuta is ever-changing material manifestation. The physical nature is constantly changing, as we discussed in second chapter. The matter is changing, it is undergoing changes like birth, growth. It is there for some time, then it produces byproducts, it dwindles, and finally vanishes. So this physical nature is called Adi Bhuta. So then his question was, what is Adi Dhaiva? So Adi Dhaiva is the universal form of the Lord, which includes all the demigods and all the planetary systems. So this is a material form of the Lord. Okay, this has no eternal existence. So the people, some devotees, they, in the beginning, they may not be able to concentrate on the personal form of the Lord. For them, this Virat Rupa is the form through which they can start their spiritual life. So the next question was, what is Adi Yajna? Adi Yajna is another word for Paramatma. The super soul who is situated in our hearts is called Paramatma. So those were the 5 questions Arjuna asked and Krishna answered. And one more last question that Arjuna asked was, and how can one, those engaged in devotional service, know you at the time of death? It's an important question Arjuna is raising, and Krishna is answering as follows. So we take birth, then we enter into the phase of childhood, and from there we pass on to another stage of adolescence, and from adolescence we go to the stage of adulthood, and from there again, you see, we change to old age, and finally, when the time is up, we die. So death is not final. This life is not all in all. One second, I have to come out here. Okay. So this life is not all in all. There is actually life after death, and so the word smaran means how to remember. It's important. So remembering Krishna is not possible if we have not practiced Krishna consciousness. So why is it important to remember Krishna? Because otherwise we'll be just transmigrating in the material world, in the cycle of birth and death. So definitely we will remember the object of love at the time of death, and therefore at the time of death, what happens? The mind is in the confused state, and the body in the pain-stricken state. So at this stage, it's really it's very difficult to remember Krishna. So when we are healthy, hale and healthy, we have to start practicing this Krishna consciousness movement, Krishna consciousness process. So that verse is, and whoever at the time, this is Krishna's answers to Arjuna's last question, that at the time of death, how you can remember. So, and whoever at the time of death quits his body, remembering me alone. The word is remembering me alone, at once attains my nature. Of this there is no doubt. So if you remember anything else, that's it. That's you're back. We are back in the cycle of birth and death. Only if we remember Krishna, then we will be out of this cycle of birth and death. So further Krishna says, no, just a second. Okay. So 8.6 Krishna is saying, whatever state of being one remembers when he quits his body, that state he will attain without fail. Whatever state of being one remembers when he quits his body, that state he will attain without fail. So our cumulative effect of our life in the form of thoughts and actions, that influences our thoughts at the time of death. So if one is thinking about Krishna at the time of death, then he'll have a spiritual body. So I was just thinking whatever you see, some people are so much attached to their pets. So at the time of death, you see, if they remember that pet, Krishna is saying that the next stage will be they will attain the same stage of their mentality without fear. So therefore, it's important to prepare our consciousness so that it is steady on Krishna at the time of death. So how to do that? Uh, Krishna is saying in this next verse. I don't want to show this video. It may be a little disturbing. How to remember Krishna? This is an important verse, and it is very, very applicable to the uh, modern man. There, Krishna is saying, "Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu mam anusmara yuddhacha maya arpita manobuddhir mam evaishyasi asamshayaha." Therefore, Arjuna, you should always think of me in the form of Krishna, and at the same time carry out your prescribed duty of fighting. With your activities dedicated to me and your mind and intelligence fixed on me, you will attain me without fail. So Krishna is not telling us to leave any one of our prescribed duties, but he is telling you continue whatever prescribed duties you have. At the same time, thinking about me. Thinking of Krishna comes by chanting the Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So this will free one from the material contamination, and slowly and progressively, when the chanting is becoming deep, what happens is the mind and intelligence also become attached to Krishna. So only by this simply it looks an easy process, but it is very sublime. So when only by this process of chanting the Mahamantra, one can be transferred to the supreme planet of Krishna without fail. Mam anusmara yuddhacha. Think and fight. In the next verse, Krishna is saying, attaining Krishna by remembering him. He's saying, he who meditates on Supreme Personality of Godhead, his mind constantly engaged in remembering me, undeviated from the path, is sure to reach me. Abhyasa yoga yuktena chetasa na anya gamina paramam purusham divyam yati partha anuchintayam. Abhyasa yoga yuktena. Krishna is saying that this is not possible. Weeks or months or years of time. The perseverance should be constant. So, what happens is when we chant this Hare Krishna mantra, our memory of Krishna, our memory of about ourselves in relation to Krishna gets revived. See, so we have this experience in the schools also. Teachers made us write copywriting. Why? Because by repetition of some some concept or some sentences, we get memory of that. So what happens is by chanting the Mahamantra, whatever thing we have forgotten, we will be able to remember it. That's what Arjuna said. He'll tell in 10th chapter, Nashtamoha Smriti Labhya. I got the memory, Krishna, then I will I will fight. That's what he said. So what happens is when we mindfully chant this Hare Krishna mantra, a specific group of neurons in the brain are stimulated. So this is studied in the Oxford University of Medicine. There are scientific papers on that. So the specific neurons are stimulated, and what happens when we repeat this process mindfully, then these particular group of neurons get wired up. So the neurons which fire together, they wire together. So therefore, that pathway becomes a pathway of least resistance. So you have studied in physics also, the current passes through the pathway of least resistance. So similarly, this if you would have made this pathway of chanting the Hare Krishna mantra in the brain, so easily you can remember Krishna at the difficult times. See how scientific it is. Okay. So, do we have a example in the nature? Yes, we do have. So there is an insect called caterpillar. So this caterpillar is afraid of butterfly, and it always thinks about butterfly. So in the same life, this caterpillar changes his body to butterfly. Mm. So similarly, if we think of Krishna, so we can have the same bodily constitution as Krishna in our next life. So the Lord does not say that one should give up his prescribed duties or engagements. One can continue them at the same time, thinking of Krishna by chanting the Hare Krishna. This will free one from the material contamination and engage the mind intelligence in Krishna. So by chanting Krishna's names, one will transfer to the supreme planet Krishna Loka without a doubt. So this I have taken from the purport of the shloka 8.7. So in the next portion, Krishna is saying how to attain the supreme. So he is enumerating the ways of remembering Krishna. So this is a difficult portion, and I don't have in-depth knowledge. So whatever I have, I will just share with you. So how to remember Krishna? One should meditate upon Supreme Person as the one who knows everything, as he who is the oldest, who is the controller, who is smaller than the smallest, and who is the maintainer of everything, who is beyond all material conception, who is inconceivable, and who is always a person. He is luminous like sun, and being transcendental is beyond this material nature. So first and foremost point Krishna is saying, we should remember Krishna always as a person. So Krishna is not impersonal or void, isn't it? So and it's also difficult on meditating something void and impersonal. You try yourself. You cannot imagine. We cannot just vacate your mind of anything. So even in the material creation, there is no place of void. You see, you have to artificially create in the lab. That's vacuum. So, and then he says Purusha meaning supreme personality. And then Krishna says Kavi means one who knows the past, present, and future. And then in the shloka, if you see the third line, the third word Achintya. Achintya means it is beyond our conception, beyond our thinking power, beyond our argumental power, beyond our logic power, and beyond our philosophically speculating power. So therefore, the best way to know Krishna is from the authorized scriptures like Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam. So another word Krishna is saying, he's the smallest of the smallest. How we can understand this? So the spirit soul, the Brahman, is its dimension described in the Shastra is that its dimension is just 1/10,000th part of the tip of the hair. That is, if you see take the tip of the hair, if you cut it 100 times, and one part you take and again you cut it 100 times, that will be 1/10,000th time. So that is the dimension of, it's just a comparison. That is the dimension of the spirit soul. And Krishna is so great, and that he enters the heart of that spirit soul, and that is inconceivable. These things are achintya. So we have to accept the statements of the Shastras. So in the next verse, Krishna is saying, one who at the time of death fixes his mind between the eyebrows and in full devotion engage himself in remembering the Lord, then he will certainly attain the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So Krishna is describing a form of yoga called Shat Chakra Yoga. So he is saying how to practice this. So learn it. People of Vedas who utter the Omkara, who are great sages in the renounced order, enter into Brahman. So desiring such perfection, one practices celibacy. I shall now explain to you this process by which one may attain the salvation. So the prerequisite is he must be learned in Vedas. We should vibrate the Omkara, and he should be in the renounced order of life, and he should maintain perfect celibacy. So they can practice this chakra yoga system. So in this, the yogic situation is that of detachment from sensual engagements, closing all the doors of senses and fixing the mind on the heart and life air at the top of head. One establishes himself in yoga. So we have some energy within and without the body, and around the body, and they form a kind of a circle that is called chakra. So there are I think 7 chakras, yeah, 7 chakras that are described, and by certain yogic asanas and yogic process, it is possible that the kundalini shakti is awakened, and that can move the spirit soul which is there in the region of the heart to the region between the two eyebrows. And the yogi, if he is perfect, he can choose his destination, the time of leaving the body, and he can choose his destination, and he can go there. So you see, do you think the present day society construction is continual to practice these kinds of chakra yoga system? Definitely not. So therefore, Krishna is telling an easy process, easy but sublime. Okay, so that is the 14th verse. So Krishna says, for one who remembers me without deviation, I am easy to obtain. O son of Pritha, because of his constant engagement in devotional service, when you have the constancy in devotional service, you can obtain me. That's what Krishna is saying, verse number 14. So, the devotee's desire is not to get promoted to heavenly planets or seek liberation. Nothing. His only aim is to render service both here and uh, uh, in the next life also. So there is no tinge of any material desires with a devotee. So when a devotee is constantly practicing devotional service like that, Krishna says, I'll give the intelligence how he can make further progress. Tesham satata yukthanam vajatam priti purvakam dadami buddhi yogam tam. Dadami buddhi yogam. I will give the intelligence as to how the devotee has to go further. That is what Krishna is saying. So in the next verse, Krishna says, after attaining me, Mam upetya punarjanma dukhalayam ashashvatam napnuvanti mahatmana samshiddhim paramam gattaha. After attaining me, the great souls who are yogis in devotion never return to this temporary world, which is full of miseries, because they have attained the highest perfection. So, Krishna is talking about 4 miseries here. That is rebirth, death, old age, and disease. So all of the problems in our material life is because of these 4 basic problems. So everything else is a symptom. These are the problem. So just like a doctor, he treats not the fever, but the underlying cause of that fever. So similarly, Krishna, being the greatest doctor, is treating the basic, the core problem of this material world. So therefore, to Napnuanti Mahatmana Samsuddhim Paramam Gati. Paramam means highest goal. So we claim to be in the advanced civilization and practicing the most modern cutting edge technologies, but we haven't made an inch of a progress in mm, in reducing the core problems of this material existence: birth, rebirth, death, old age, and disease. So this is Krishna's loving invitation to come to his place where these material iniquities are absent. So that further he says in the next sloka also. So in the 16th verse, Krishna is saying, Abrahma Bhuvana Loka Punaravartino Arjuna, Mamupete to Kaunteya Punarjanmana Vidyate. From the highest planet in the material world down to the lowest, all are places of misery where repeated birth and death take place. But one who attains my abode never takes birth again. So the modern science, they say that there are 10 to the power of 500 universes in the world. That is, after one, there are 500 zeros. So those many, universes are there. And Krishna is saying, starting from the highest planet to the lowest planet in the material world, everywhere the same problem is there: repetition of birth, death, old age, and disease. So, even whatever the planets we go, or the planets of demigods, they're all subjected to the birth, death, old age, and disease. Only in Mam Upetya to Kaunteya, only when you reach my abode, Krishna is saying there is full stop to these problems. So, just to give a understanding of what it is in higher planets, how is their time, other things, Krishna is saying in 17th chapter, by human calculation, 1,000 ages taken together is the duration of Brahma's one day, and such also is the duration of night. So Kali Yuga is 432 years, 32,000 years, and the age previous to this is Dwapara Yuga, which is double, and Tetra Yuga is triple, and Satya Yuga is quadruple, 4 times. So when we add this, that is called one Mahayuga. Okay? Each yugas are there. When you add these 4 yugas, you get one Mahayuga. That will be 10 times the age of Kali Yuga. So, yeah, this multiplied by 1,000 is Brahma's one day, 12 hours. So that will be equal to 4.32 billion years. Such also is the duration of night. And totally Brahma's duration will be 311 trillion and 4 billion human years. So even after living such a fantastic life, which is beyond our calculation, Brahma will die. So this material world is called Martyaloka. That means death is the ultimate reality here. So afterwards, what happens is, again the creation happens, and from where we had left, again we come back and engage in these fruitive activities. So, so it may look like, see, the 311 trillion years may look like if a very seems to be a huge life time, but from the point of eternity, from Krishna's point of view, it's just as brief as a lightning flash. Okay, so this world is manifested and unmanifested. So at the end of Brahma's day, it gets unmanifested. That is, it is annihilated. Then again at the end of Brahma's lifetime, again it is annihilated. So so it It is bhutva bhutva praliyate. It's created, destroyed, created and destroyed. So, but what about Krishna's nature? The Krishna's abode. Parastasmat bhavo anya avyakto avyaktat sanatana. Ya sa sarva bhuteshu na asyastu na vinashyati. Yet there is another nature which is eternal and it is transcendental to this manifested and unmanifested matter. It is supreme, it is never annihilated. When all this world is annihilated, that part remains as it is. That is Krishna's abode. So, so Krishna's abode is described as eternal, sanatana. So that is opposite to the quality of material world in which we are present. So in the next verse, Krishna says that supreme abode is called unmanifested and it is infallible and it is a supreme destination. When one goes there, he never comes back. That is my supreme abode. So, so Krishna is describing. He doesn't describe about his abode not much in detail. Little bit only he gives. So his abode is called Goloka Vrindavana. It is called Chintamani Dham, where all the desires are fulfilled. It is. There is a verse in Rama Samhita. It is said.
Chintamani
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, can you chant that the mantra, Mataji?
Chintamani Prakarasatma Sukalpa Vraksha Lakshawriteshu Surabhira Vipalayantam Lakshmi Sahasrashata Sambrama Sevyamanam Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami.
Right. Thank you. So, so the Krishna's abode is made up of touchstones. It is described. It's made up of you have so many desired trees which can fulfill and surabhi cows which can fulfill all your desires. And there are hundreds and thousands of Mother Lakshmis waiting to serve Krishna, and Krishna is happily enjoying with his flute, with his friends, with his parents, and inhabitants of Goloka Vrindavana. So one who attains that dhamam paramam, that is the highest supreme abode. So if one is lucky to attain that, he never comes back to this mortal world. Okay? So how to obtain Krishna's abode? It is by Ananya Bhakti, that is an pure Bhakti or unalloyed, without any alloy, unalloyed Bhakti to Krishna. So that Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is greater than all, is obtainable by unalloyed devotion. Although he is present in his abode, he is all pervading and everything is situated within him. So, that spiritual world also has very goodness. It is also has variety. There is not a tinge of flaw that can be found in the spiritual world. So, so it may feel like okay, I have no experience of these things. These things, yes, we have. We don't have experience, so therefore we have to take this from the authority, from the people who have experienced this. That is, we all the time we are doing that. I have a table in front of me, so it is made up of atoms, isn't it? But how do I know it is made up of atoms? I know from the people who have studied it. You see, Niels Bohr described then Max Planck had another theory. So like that, the great scientists, they studied those atoms, and I am taking the knowledge of atom from them. So similarly, the spiritual also, there are spiritual scientists who have studied Krishna, who have seen this, who have experienced this, and they are telling us. So a common man has no capacity either to validate scientific theories or validate spiritual realities. No, he has to accept either a scientific theory or a spiritual reality. So that is our position. We have to choose what I have to accept. So in the next portion, and it's the last portion, couple of slides. So Krishna is describing the destination of what happens, destination of a devotee, destination of a jnani, and destination of a karmi. So we'll go to the 23rd verse where Krishna is saying, I shall now explain to you the different times at which passing away from this world, one does or does not come back. Yeah. So 24th verse, Krishna is saying, those who know the Supreme Brahman pass away from the world during the influence of fiery God in the light at an auspicious moment during the fortnight of moon and the 6 months when the sun is traveling in the north. So that is the pathway of jnanis and yogis. That's the path of light. So the circumstances will be arranged in such a way that they reach their destination of Brahman effulgence. So others, they pass away from this world during the smoke, the night, the moonless fortnight, or in the 6 months when the sun passes in the south, or who reach the moon planet, again come back. So that is the pathway of darkness taken by karmis. So this is the pathway when a yogi is perfect, when he's leaving the body, he's guided by the deities of the fiery, like light, you see sun, moon, like that. He is guided through this cosmic manifestation, and finally he reaches Lord Brahma, and from there he is taken to the Brahman effulgence. So another path which is taken by karmi is that they will be, you see, guided by the deity of darkness, and sometimes if they, by piety, if they reach the planet of moon, they'll enjoy the material pleasure for some time, and then when they exhaust their piety, they come to the earth. Shine punye martyalokam vishanti. So as long as their piety is there, and once they exhaust their piety in the moon planet, they come back to the earth. So this is the pathway of, one is the yogis, other one is the karmis. So what happens to the devotee? So devotee, Krishna is assuring in 27th verse. He says, the devotees who know these two pathways are never bewildered. Therefore, be always fixed in devotion. So Arjuna would have, confused what may happen to me. So Krishna is reassuring, don't worry, Arjuna, about the different paths. So for a devotee, there is no need to get bewildered. That is what Krishna is assuring. So a devotee should establish well himself in Krishna consciousness and serve with one pointed attention. So this makes a devotee's path safe, direct, and certain. So therefore, all actions should be steeped up in Krishna consciousness because it guarantees the safe passage from this material world to the spiritual world. So I would like, at this point, I would like to give some contemporary examples. So we have, just a second, let me locate that. Yeah. We have a devotee is called Pankaj Jangri Prabhu. He's American bodied, and he was serving in ISKCON headquarters, which is situated at Mayapur. It is around 150 kilometers from Calcutta. So unfortunately, he got infected with COVID, and still unfortunately it progressed to pneumonia. So he was shifted to a higher center at Calcutta. There, what happened was an international team of devotee doctors were involved. They tried their best, but you see, the treatment failed. So at one point of time, you see, his lungs were not good, so he had to be put on mechanical ventilation, that is artificial breathing. So this devotee who was serving ISKCON for the past 40 years, he refused. He said, "No, I don't want to be artificially ventilated. Please take me back to Mayapur." So he was brought to Mayapur. So then later what happened was he couldn't maintain saturation even with a very high flow of oxygen, even with you see BiPAP machine. BiPAP is not invasive; it is non-invasive. So then when the point of you see when the point came, the time of his leaving the body, you see the devotees they came, they were sitting around him, and in the you see the in amidst of chanting the holy name of Lord Krishna by the devotees, and they played a Prabhupada tape on Bhagavatam. So and this at this auspicious situation, His Grace Pankajangri Prabhu left the mortal world. So for this just happened 1 week back. That's all. So I'm not giving examples from Bhagavatam or you see some Vedic literature. It's contemporary. So the devotee will get that strength to face death. And he will receive the support from the co-devotees, and also the support is assured from Krishna. So this is another COVID center where the doctor and the health workers are you see are practicing Krishna consciousness. You see for patient benefit. So there is another center, COVID center, maintained by Dr. I think Dr. Pallavi in Pune. She is, you see, singing Narsimha prayer for the COVID patients. So we will receive. The path of Krishna consciousness is not. We don't have to traverse alone. We'll get help from everywhere. So uh, I would like to play this video, which happened.
Prabhuji, voice is not coming off the video.
Hare Krishna, can you hear me?
Yeah,
Yes,
I can hear you.
Prabhuji.
Yeah. Okay.
They are asking for the video audio from.
Oh, sorry about it. So you see the path, the for a devotee, he don't have to worry at all. See, in my personal life also, my father was having an when he had an advanced cancer lung, so the treatment failed. So actually, and during his last days, so I was with him, and you see his conscious level was slowly going down. So I thought it's a time that he may leave the body. So I immediately called the temple. So the devotees they came to our house. They performed a kirtan. So when the amidst of you see devotees chanting the names of Lord Krishna, my father left this mortal world. So therefore, Krishna consciousness is all auspicious. So that is what Krishna is saying in 28th verse. He's saying a person who accepts the path of devotional service is not bereft of results derived from studying Vedas, performing austere sacrifices, giving charity, or pursuing philosophical or fruitive activities. At the end, he reaches the supreme abode. See, the path of yogi is where they have to sacrifice everything, go to forest, study Vedas under the spiritual master for 20, 25 years, and then accept the grastashram, and then go to vanaprastha, again severe austerities, then finally sannyas. So these steps are involved, and that is very, very difficult in the modern times. So the beauty of Krishna consciousness is that by one stroke, uh, by engaging in devotional service, we can surpass all the rituals and yet get the highest perfection of life. So so this is the so what I request you is that you will have ISKCON temple in and around city. So so the devotees are you see are very nice people to associate with. So you can we welcome you to our temples. So you are please welcome. You can visit the temple. You see discuss this philosophy in detail. You see, and take prasadam and participate in all the programs also. So the beginning process of Krishna consciousness is submissively hearing the message of Bhagavad Gita, which instills the faith in our heart, and then because of that we perform many devotional services. In the process, our doubts will be cleared, and we develop taste in this devotional service. That's called ruchi, and at one point the devotional service becomes extremely pleasurable, and that's how we progress in the spiritual life. So so to conclude, Krishna in the first portion answered he answered 5 questions of Arjuna, and in the second portion Krishna answered the sixth question, that what how to die. So Bhagavad Gita not only teaches you how to live, but it also teaches the art of dying. So in the next portion, Krishna said the you see the various ways how to remember Krishna, and in the last portion he enumerated the destination of yogis, karmis, and devotees. So so with this we end. Hare Krishna. I would like to thank everyone for joining today. So tomorrow we'll study the ninth chapter, which is most important chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Once a very businessman asked Prabhupada, so if I'm very busy and if I have to study one chapter of Bhagavad Gita, what it would be? And Prabhupada replied, we study ninth chapter. So that we'll see tomorrow. And now we can take some questions and comments. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. We can take question answers, no, Prabhu?
Yeah.
Hare Krishna. Okay. Seema Naik, Seema Malik, you can unmute and ask the question if you have.
Hanji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
First, I would like to say that I really like the term Krishna consciousness. It's really sounds very good.
Yes.
Secondly, in this, you have talked about life after death. Now,
Yes.
what then you stopped in between, stopped showing those slides. Then, what is there any life after death? And is it right to remember our loved ones when they leave us? When we feel, sometimes we remember them a lot, but we often have seen that our elders normally instruct us not to remember too much. Is it right? Or is there any life after death?
There is no doubt about that. There is life after death, and so you see the second. Were you there for the second section, second chapter?
Second question you are asking for?
No, were you there for the second section of this course? So
Yes,
I have given so many scientific evidences stating that there is next life. So just to tell in short, one Dr. Sam Prania is there. He is an intensivist. He is working at an university in New York. He is doing the highest you see study on near-death experiences. So being intensive care specialist, he will see many patients die and CPR being performed on them. So those patients who were revived, so he has taken a detailed interview. So these patients, when they were clinically dead, that means their heart will be stopped and brain has no blood flow. That is called clinical death. So at that time, in that period, these people, you see, they described clear experiences what they underwent. You see, so this raises the question: is there some part of our body which is surviving, and is there a life? So the law of conservation of energy also states that energy can neither be created nor destroyed. So our body is like an energy which is with which you can glow a 40-watt bulb. So this energy is conserved in soul, you see, and that is bound to take next life.
Okay.
So your question is yes, there is next life.
Yes. Is it right to remember our loved ones when we leave them? When they leave us, rather?
Yeah, that is okay, but you have to do some practical aspects. Some practical aspects also there. Okay, so the best way to remember your loved ones is to perform Shraddha ceremony. Shraddha ceremony in the sense that the Krishna Prasadam, whatever you offer to Krishna, and if you offer, there is the Pitra Pinda is there. If you offer to the persons who have left you, you see there is a possibility that they may get a better body in their subsequent lives.
Normally they said, na, if we cry, that they said their further journey is really tough when we remember them and a lot, or we cry a lot on their loss.
No, you have to do some practical thing. You have to give them Krishna Prasadam.
How?
That is we in the death time, in that particular date, you have to organize, you see, a kirtan, chanting of the holy names of Krishna, and then you see when you have to offer food. You have to offer food to Krishna, and the prasadam you can distribute among devotees, and also a small portion of the prasadam can be kept aside for the loved ones in front of their photos.
Okay. Okay.
Oh,
Thank you.
Hare.
Hare Krishna.
And can you please enable the chat?
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Neelkanta Joshi.
Hare Krishna,
Neelkanta
Prabhu.
Joshi.
Hare Krishna, Neelkantaji, how are you?
I am fine. I want to ask that I'm in standard 12th, and always I have noticed that my mom does a comparison between my other cousins and everything, and also I get a very good marks. Then also they tell she tells that you are not getting good marks and stuff like that. Always she fights with me. You are not studying. You are not doing nothing. Also, if I get 85 plus marks in my exam.
Okay. Uh, so don't worry. You tell her that even the you see the dropouts in the college, they have been Nobel laureates. You say her that, and you quote the example of Albert Einstein, how he was a dropout.
Yeah, I have given many times. No, in my 10th exam also in boards, I have got 90%. Also, then they are telling not it's less and that everything.
Don't worry. You just tell them about the ultimate success in life. Okay, so you give them some of Prabhupada's books. What I suggest is Science of Self-Realization. There is a book by Prabhupada called Science of Self-Realization, and ask them to go through it. I'm sure they will not trouble you.
Thank you, Prabhuji. I will suggest them that book.
Yeah, yes.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Murali Prabhu, you can ask your question. Unmute and ask.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Murali Prabhu. How are you?
I'm doing good, Suhas Prabhu. This
Yeah.
question I'm asking for my friend I have actually sent him the link for the classes as well. The problem is like he is an alcoholic. He
Okay.
believes in God and everything, but he's an
Okay.
alcoholic. So we friends, when we try to like tell him, his wife is also always saying like, I don't know, he's a very good person. The only problem is that he's addicted. So
Okay.
I think he tried many things also. He joined alcohol anonymous groups and stuff like that. For few times he's okay. So I suggested him to chant the Hare Krishna mantra, and also I gave him the class link. But the thing is like, Prabhu, how can I convince him, or how can I like, what is the way out of, he wants to change. The problem is like the alcohol has consumed him. So he's being so addicted at work and all, he's okay. But the problem is like he needs to drink every day, which is causing pain for his wife or his kids. So is there any way out, Prabhu, where like I can tell him or I can help him?
Yeah, by philosophical discussions, you see, the discussions can change the mind. Okay, so that is what and that is what happens in alcohol de-addiction center also. If you go there, they have lot of discussions. So many people come there, and they regularly take classes. Okay, so by discussing a uh, uh, higher philosophy, the mind changes. You
Okay,
see,
okay,
so
okay,
when you discuss Bhagavad Gita, then Bhagavatam, so those philosophical discussions and association of devotees is very, very important. You see, so
okay,
I believe
okay.
your friend is also in Toronto.
Yes, Prabhu, he's in Toronto only.
So that will make things easier. So you can once in a week you can organize a home program. You can call the devotees from ISKCON. So they will be more than happy to come. Uh, they'll be happy to come. So in that he will get an higher you see higher uh, taste than the whiskey brandy and all. So when he gets that higher taste regularly and progressively, then he will, I'm sure he will quit his lower nature.
Oh, okay, Prabhu. Sure, sure. Got it, Prabhu. I will ask him and I will request him. Thank
So
you, Prabhu.
why don't you organize a program at your home and call him?
Okay, okay, Prabhu. Sure, Prabhu. I'll try to do that. Do and organize a kirtan, and I will
Yeah,
call maybe some
yeah.
ISKCON
See,
devotees.
weekdays anyway,
Possibly,
they will be the weekdays anyway not much because they'll be busy in the work. Weekends is the
yeah,
problem.
yeah.
Mind is vacant, so you can organize program.
Sure, Prabhu. The thing is like he really want to change. The problem is
Yeah.
like, yeah, I know
So
his
you give
condition.
then
Yeah,
once you organize program, you call him to home, you call him to your home, and then you give him the responsibility of organizing the program at his place, so that
yes,
his
Prabhu.
mind will be absorbed and he won't think about other things. Okay.
Okay, Prabhu. Okay, Prabhu. Thank you very much, Prabhu.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Next, I would like to call Soumya Mataji. Please unmute yourself and ask your question. Soumya Mataji.
Yeah, Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank you. Hare Krishna
Yes.
Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, ma'am.
Yeah, I have two questions. So when you say that the soul leaves one body and it finds another body, so on what basis it finds another body, and how long does it take? Does it vary from one soul to another soul, or how is it? And yeah, that is my first question. And my second question is like, if we say that good exists, then evil exists as well. So if God exists, does that mean demons exist? And are those the souls which have not got any body, or how is it? Can you explain on that?
Yeah. The first question is uh, uh, yeah, soul is living the body depending on our karma. Okay, what we have done in this life or the previous life. Karmana daiva nitrina. That is not the full answer. So one part of the answer is karma, and second thing is daiva nitrina. Krishna is also overseeing this activities of the soul. Okay, so it depends on both what you have done and what is Krishna's decision. Krishna is Swarat. supremely independent. Okay, he can do whatever he wants. So generally, he is neutral for a non-devotee, just like the judge in the court. So whatever he'll either award, he'll either reward or he will punish. So that is done through the material nature. Okay, and generally it is said that when somebody has a natural death, his body is already prepared before he leaves this body. Okay, then as soon as he leaves this body, he is taken to another body. That is an invisible process under the superior authority. Okay, have I answered the first question?
Okay. I mean, does it vary? So based on the karma, does it mean that if we have done good karma, we will find another body soon?
Better
Is it like?
body, yeah. If we
Okay.
and a better place of existence. High, we go higher. There are
Okay.
14 planetary systems, so we are exactly the middle of that planet. Earth is then exactly in the middle of that 14 planet system. You do good, you ascend upwards. If you don't do good, you go downwards. Okay, it
Okay.
depends. Different personages have different karmas, so therefore the destiny is different.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
So the second question, as I understand, is that why there is good and evil both existing in the creation of God. Is that the way?
No, I mean, good and evil both exist. So God and I think devils exist as well.
Yes, yes.
In that case, I mean, we see that it is a question of debate actually whether they exist or not. So if they exist, are they the souls which have not transferred to another body, or how is it?
Yeah, yeah. There is existence of ghost. I have limited knowledge in this. The living entities who have been thoroughly sinful, and also some living beings who commit suicide, unnatural deaths. Okay, their body wouldn't have been prepared because they have not yet completed their period of life in this body. So in that case, there is a time waiting period where they will not get their gross body immediately. So they have to be with their subtle body, and that is called the ghost.
Okay, Hare Krishna. Thank you,
Hare,
Guruji. Thank you.
Hare,
Thank you, Prabhuji. Now I
Hare Krishna.
request, Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Now I request Kajal Mataji to unmute yourself and ask your question.
Thank you.
Kajal, yes,
Hare
yes.
Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
I only have one question, actually two questions. One is you mentioned you have to continuously always keep on saying Hare Rama, Hare Rama, right? You have to always chant that name. Always
Hare
keep that in.
Krishna, Hare Krishna. Starts with Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Rama Rama, Hare Hare. 16 syllables
Okay, okay,
mantra.
okay. So like I'm in practice of saying Shri Krishna Sharanam as being from a Gujarati family. So is that there will be a difference? I mean, is it okay if I use Shri Krishna Sharanam, or is it really important to use the same which you just mentioned?
This is the see I'll take 2-3 minutes to answer that question. So
Yes.
once Narad Muni asked his father Brahma, what is the way out in Kali Yuga? Okay, so Brahma replied his question as Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Iti Shodashaka Namanam, Kali Kalmasha Nashanam, Nata Nata Paratarupaya. There is no other way except the chanting of this Hare Krishna mantra. So, Sarva Vedeshu Dishrati, that's the last word in that what Brahma is saying to Brahma is saying to Narada. So, the summary or you can say the essence of Vedas is this mantra. Okay, so therefore it is authorized. So therefore it has to be chanted in that way only.
All right,
Okay.
all right. I
See,
get
for
that.
example,
And one, yes.
just an example, E is equal to mc square. You see the famous Einstein equation is there. E is equal to mc square. You cannot write that equation. If you write that equation as it is, E is equal to mc square, you can prepare an atom bomb. isn't it? So if you write that equation in any other form, you may not get the result properly.
Correct.
So the equation, the mantra has to be chanted as given by the authority.
Because as for Krishna, there are lots of shlokas. So,
Yeah.
like as you mentioned, there are lots of shlokas. In fact, my mother used to teach me that you should at least learn one slok one day. There are so many sloks for Krishna. So,
Yes.
Yeah. So you still have to continue with the slok which you were saying, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama.
Rama,
It has
Hare.
its own significance. It's what you are trying to say. Correct.
Yeah, this is the mantra, and the mantra means it is not a shloka. You are using the word shloka, if I understand correct. This is not the shloka.
Correct. Yes.
This is mantra. Man means mind, and trayate means one which delivers the mind. So this is the Maha Mantra. Okay, and that is the essence. Just like the cow is there, but the essence of that cow is milk, isn't it? We are after that milk of that cow,
Yes.
which we are consuming. So similarly, the essence of all the Vedas, the essence of everything is the Hare Krishna mantra. So if you chant this mantra, just like E is equal to MC square, gives you so much information about physics. So similarly, this mantra will give so much information about Krishna. It comes with the information. So as and when you chant, the information is revealed to you. That is the significance.
All right, I understood. Thank you so much. And one last question. I'm not sure if this is the right question to ask, but which is the last year of Kali Yuga? Last year, when does it end? When does Kali Yuga end?
Yeah, just now I showed that slide. So the duration of Kali Yuga is 4,32,000 years, and we have just passed 5,000 years. That's all. Another 4,27,000 years to come.
Oh, all right.
Okay.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Now I request Rishi Prabhuji to unmute yourself and ask your question. Rishi Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
My question is more of a follow-up to some of the previous questions that were asked around rebirth.
Yes.
So you did mention that the best way to, remember your loved ones is to chant Krishna's name, have a gathering, offer Krishna Prasad to the bhaktas and the loved ones.
Yes.
From my understanding, because we're talking about rebirth, how long is this valid? Because the soul would have entered into another body sooner or later, unless, like you said, if they're thoroughly sinful, then that's another question. But there's a good chance that the soul would have entered into another body sooner or later. Yes. Now, for how long will this Krishna Prasad and this chanting help that soul? Because, for example, if I have to do it for a grandparent who's passed away, say, 20 years back, there's a good chance that her soul would have entered another body and probably living another life entirely altogether. So would me doing something like this now be of help to her soul?
Definitely. Because they are in some or the other body now, isn't it? So wherever they are, wherever they are, in whichever body they are, they will be definitely benefited. For I can quote an incident from Bhagavatam 7th canto, where Hiranyakashipu was slain by Narsimadev, and Narsimadev asks Prahlad, so do you have any benediction? Do you want any benedictions from me? So at that time, Prahlad Maharaj asked, if it's okay, please excuse my father. So that time Narasimhadev is telling that let alone be a father, I will excuse 100 generations. Okay. So similarly, wherever they are now, if you connect to Krishna, then whoever you are praying to will also get benefited.
Okay. Understand. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Now I request Kaustubh Prabhuji to unmute and ask the question. Kaustubh.
Hare Krishna, Kaustubhji.
my question is, are there multiple ways to attain the spiritual abode of Krishna? Because in this chapter, Krishna is saying that to remember me at the time of death. But I also heard the other ways also to attain the spiritual abode, which is the one is that we can observe the fast during Ekadashi, and also by just by hearing the kirtan, also the person gets liberated, right? So I'm a bit confused.
Okay. So the spiritual practices can be compressed into four or five principles. The first one is hearing from the shastras. Okay, you have to hear from the shastras because and then you have to chant that Hare Krishna mantra. Okay, so so both should go on simultaneously, the hearing of from the shastras and chanting the mantra. Okay, so at that time what happens is that when we hear the shastras, our quality of chanting will become better and better. All right. So then third thing is taking Krishna Prasadam, and fourth thing is association of devotees, and fifth thing is staying in a dham. We have holy places in India, Vrindavan, Mayapur, or you see in the south we have Rameshwar, Guruvayur, like that. So the holy places are there. Okay? So if you cannot stay there, the other alternative is or it is another you can do is you can wherever you are you can you see water tulsi. So these are the five core principles of devotional services. Okay, so apart from this there are secondary principles. Okay, so secondary principles are those, you see, performing fasting on Ekadashi, you see, going and visiting the dham, you go on a pilgrimage for the dham. So those are the secondary principles. So what is my personal opinion, I may not be correct, but what I'm saying is you must follow these five core principles. Okay, and then add on to this as you progress in spiritual life. You have to add on to that. Just like first you have to become a devotee, and one who becomes a devotee, one becomes devotee by chanting and hearing. So only once that process is perfectly done, then you can add on. Just like if you become a doctor, you can add stethoscope, right? You can put on stethoscope, but just by putting stethoscope you will not become a doctor. So similarly the secondary processes will not is not in the beginning. The beginning is this process.
Yeah.
Kaustubji, have I answered your question?
Yeah, I just wanted to mention what I read about Ekadashi. I have a Krishna's app where the importance of Ekadashi is mentioned in the article. So
Yes, definitely. You have to.
there is a dialogue between, yeah,
Yeah. So you have to follow. I'm not saying you
yeah,
have to follow.
there is
You
a
should not
dialogue
follow.
between, mhm,
Yeah. Yeah. You have to follow
yeah, yeah,
Ekadashi. But I'm saying first you have to,
yes,
you see, follow this core principles properly. Okay. Then you will get
okay,
strength to do fasting on Ekadashis. Are you getting my point?
yeah, yeah, correct.
Okay.
So you meant to say it's not a easy process to observe the Ekadashi. So to make it simple,
Yeah.
we should do this five.
You
You
should do
mentioned.
this. Then you'll get strength to do the next process.
Okay, okay,
You
Prabhuji.
understand? So
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
beginning only it may be difficult for you to fast. Then slowly you come down. You see, those things should not happen. But when you are fixed in Krishna consciousness, where you gain certain amount of strength to do further process, then you will be ready for the next level.
Okay, Prabhuji. Yeah, thank you.
Hare
Hare.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare
Kaustubh
Krishna.
was the last person, Prabhuji.
Okay. So
Yeah.
James here.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Do you
I
have
think we
No.
can
something?
One second.
Yeah,
Ha.
Hare Krishna.
Siddharth
Hare
is
Yes.
there,
Krishna.
Prabhu. Siddharth, one person is raised
Okay,
his
okay.
hand.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah.
Siddharth, Prabhu. Please
Yeah,
appear.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Siddharth ji, बोलिए.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna,
Yeah,
बोलिए, बोलिए.
it is great to see the perfect. Yeah, it is great to see the linkage of one chapter to another because chapter 7 ends and chapter 8 starts with the doubts clearing of the
Yes.
Arjuna. So really, how it is really one surprising and a very, I'm really astonished to see this linkage. One question in this regard I would like to ask you, sir. Hello, hello.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, uh,
Yeah, yeah, I'm
this
hearing. Please go on.
Okay,
this
Boli,
this Srimad
hearing
Bhagavad
you.
Gita
Ask it, carry on.
was yeah. Sri Bhagavad Gita was initially told by Lord Sri Krishna, Prabhu Sri Krishna, to Viva's son, that is Suryadev, and then
Yes,
Monu, then Iksasu. Now
yes,
this Bhagavad Gita, what we are reading, what we are seeing presently, it is basically the question answer form between Arjuna and Lord Sri Krishna.
yes,
So during the initial Gita, what Lord Sri Krishna told Viva's son, yes, Suryadev or Monu or Iksaku. So was it something different, or yeah, it is something different, Bhagavad Gita, or it is same as it is as of now?
okay. So Krishna is telling Bhagavad Gita according to the time, place, and circumstances. Okay.
Yeah.
So the principles remain the same.
Okay.
You understand? So just like what is recommended for uh, uh, just like the currency in India is rupees. Okay. The currency
Yeah.
in Dubai is dirhams, and in US it is dollars. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
The
Yeah.
principle is that it is a money. Okay.
Okay.
So according in America we call it dollar. In Abu Dhabi or Dubai we call it as dirhams, and in India we call rupees. So
Okay.
according to time, place, and circumstance, it is changing, but it does the same work. It's a money. So similarly, the knowledge which Krishna has given to Vivaswan
Okay.
or you see Arjuna, it is the same. But at time, place, circumstances, Krishna may adjust a little bit, but principles remain the same.
So whether the original Bhagavad Gita is available, that what Lord Sri Krishna gave this is knowledge to your son, it is available as of now. Any books or any literature?
No, that I'm not sure. But it is this
Okay.
book. What you are reading now, Bhagavad Gita, as it's the same. You see, without any
Okay.
change. Okay, principles are the same.
But yeah. But one thing I've observed that that title of chapter is in different scriptures. So is not there any similarity, because today's chapter is Aksar Brahma Yog. It is one I got it in another books. It is Bhagavad Prapti, that is your attaining the supreme. So how to
Yeah.
correlate to these two different names for a beginner learner like us?
Yeah. So there are around 600 editions of Bhagavad Gita in the market. Okay, this I think we discussed in the introduction session. So the all see, the many non-devotees have commented upon Bhagavad Gita. Just on the basis of Sanskrit scholarship
Okay.
or Sanskrit scholarship, they have commented upon. You see, and according to their mundane interpretation, they have named it. They may have named it differently. Okay,
Yeah.
so that will not give you the you see um, original information, original knowledge. There are some
Okay.
additions, there are deletions, there are interpretations like that. So they are
Yeah.
saying Dharma Kshetra, Kurukshetra. So Dharma Kshetra
Yeah.
is your workplace, and Kurukshetra means is your body. Pandavas representing five senses. So like there's so many interpretations of Bhagavad Gita will be there. Okay,
Okay.
so you have to be you see intelligent to choose the you see the choose the authentic Bhagavad Gita from the market. Okay, so
Okay.
therefore you see we recommend you to read this Bhagavad Gita as it is. by His
As
Divine
it
Grace.
is. As it is.
As it is,
Okay.
as it is. So the word is as it is. In the sense, this Bhagavad Gita that truly represents what is Krishna's teachings to Arjuna, without any addition, without any deletion, without any author's interpretations. Okay. If see from the original things, we will get the best benefit, isn't it?
Okay.
Kaustubji, are you there? Yeah, when you read this Bhagavad Gita as it is from Prabhupada, you yourself will have the experience.
Okay. Yes, sir. Okay.
Yeah. So please follow this Bhagavad
Yeah.
Gita as it is. You will be immensely benefited.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Hare
Thank you. Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Now I request Vidyasagar Prabhuji to unmute and ask the question. Vidyasagar Prabhuji.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Hare Krishna, Suhas ji.
Hare
Thank you
Krishna,
for your
Mr.
session.
Vidyasagar.
It's really good.
Thank you.
I'm just trying to just remind you about my last question in this. I think in the second day session
Slides, sir?
regarding Buddha's.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You said
I
you will
thought
come
about,
back to.
yeah. I thought about, I didn't have an opportunity to ask my senior devotees. I thought about your question. So, Lord Buddha came for a purpose to stop the slaughtering of animals. Okay. So at that time, people were using the concessions which are given in the Vedas, the restrictions in the Vedas as concessions. The Vedas, proposed animal sacrifices for spiritual emancipation, but the people misused it and they started slaughtering the animals for eating purposes. Okay, that was rampant at that time. So to stop this, Lord Buddha incarnated. So it was not a yuga dharma. It was not a, he did not come to establish an yuga dharma. So he didn't wanted to spread this throughout the world. Okay. So yuga dharma means everyone has to follow. So he did not come for that. He came only for a specific purpose. Therefore, he did not preach to the entire world.
Okay, but
And it was only for a short period of time. Immediately, Shankaracharya, who is an incarnation of Lord Shiva, he came and brought back the Vedas. So it was just a stopgap arrangement. It was not necessary to be spread across.
Okay. Does it mean that this slaughtering of animals has stopped now? It is still happening.
It's
It
going
is even
on.
more.
It's going on. Yeah, it is
Yes.
more.
It is even more. So,
yeah.
So, I mean, the purpose of his being there for that short period has not really changed much, right?
Yeah, that's the point. So people are still misusing. So it is happening.
Okay. Now, just a continuation of that question.
Yeah.
In today's session, you were mentioning that Kali Yuga, we have just crossed about 5,000 years.
Yes.
Right? And
Yes,
still
sir.
about 2 lakhs and 27,000 years is still there.
4,27,000.
Okay, 4,27,000.
Yeah.
So that's a long time to come anyway.
Yes.
But does it mean that Buddha's birth was not 5,000 years back? No? I mean, if God has come in the form of Buddha, and it is not 5,000 years back.
No,
so
it was
during
recently
this,
only. Yeah.
So during this period in Kali Yuga, some more forms of God will appear, or that's what we have to understand.
Yeah. So in Kali Yuga, actually there are three incarnations of the God, four incarnations which are mentioned in Bhagavatam. So the first incarnation is Lord Chaitanya. So you must have heard about a saintly person from West Bengal. Have you heard of him, Lord Chaitanya?
I heard the name, yes.
Yeah. So he is considered as Krishna himself. So Krishna himself comes in the disguise of a devotee to preach Bhagavad Gita. So he has come 500 years back, and this Krishna consciousness movement originally started by him. The chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra is started 537 years back from West Bengal. Okay, and then it is said Kali Kale Nama Rupa Krishna Avatar. So in the Kali Yuga, Krishna comes as his name, which has come already as Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Okay, and the third incarnation will be at the end of Kali Yuga as Kalki Avatar. That is going to come at the end of this Kali Yuga.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, Suhas ji, thank you very much.
Right. Okay. Hare Krishna Vidyasagar.
Hare Krishna.
Hare.
Anybody else? That was the last person, Prabhuji.
Right.
Now nobody has raised the hand.
Right. Okay. So shall we finish now? Okay. Chats,
We can
anything
just
is there?
announce.
No, no, Prabhuji.
Prabhu is still there. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Devotees, Mataji's and Prabhuji's. Any questions more? You can ask. Prabhuji is still there. He can answer your question. Hare Krishna. If no questions, we will close the sessions today.
No
Hello.
more. Hello. Yes.
Hello.
Hare. Yes.
Namaste, Prabhuji.
Hare
You were
Krishna.
just talking about Buddha and that he came to stop all the animal slaughter. Then how come people, excuse me, people in all the Buddhist countries, China, Japan, or other countries, they're all meat eaters?
Yeah, it is a disobedience to the order of the Lord.
Is there anywhere like how in Jainism they do not eat certain food or meat? Is there anywhere in Buddhism that it's mentioned not to eat meat?
No, that the whole purpose of Buddha's incarnation was that he actually it was, I told you, it was not exactly a philosophy or a religion. It was just a stopgap arrangement, because people were using the Vedas, and on the name of Vedas, you see, they were doing this animal slaughtering, and that is an offense. You see, so on the name of Vedas, Veda, it is told to do animal sacrifice. Therefore, we are doing. So that was wrong. So to stop that, Lord Buddha came.
Okay. And another question is, you recommend reading of Shastras also. So for a beginner, how should we start? Which Shastras? Is there a book or something we have to start with?
Yeah. So I just recommended you, Mr. Kausubai recommended this Bhagavad Gita as it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what I suggest is you can write to us. So we will parcel you this. We will courier this book. So this would be the first starting point for your journey into spiritual life. Okay, so this book gives, this is Vedic literature gives you complete understanding of spiritual life in context to the modern world. How we can lead our life with spiritual practices parallelly, and then at the same time achieve the highest perfection. Okay.
Okay.
So whatever questions you have in Bhagavad Gita fully answers your question. Okay? So therefore it is called timeless science. See, our modern science, first it said the earth was flat, and then said no, earth is round. Then then science changed. Then they said around earth sun moves. Okay, then again it was changed. No, the earth moves around us. So like that, the theories now, the existence of matter, time, space, they are questioning that with the advent of quantum theory. So every day the science is changing. But the science of spiritual life enumerated in Bhagavad Gita is a timeless science. What was relevant, what is said 120 million years back, the same thing is there now also. So that would be the good beginning for you.
Okay. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Raghunath Prabhuji, please unmute yourself and ask your question. Raghunath Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank
Hare
you.
Krishna. Yes.
Hare Krishna,
Prabhuji. Yeah.
Hare Krishna, Raghunath Prabhuji. How are you?
I'm good, Prabhuji. How about you, Prabhuji?
Yeah, fine.
Prabhuji, just a small doubt because last during explanation there was one question from Vidyasagar Prabhu regarding the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. You are quoting something that around 537 years back this has been came. It came from I am because I'm not having that clear thing about the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. I thought up to now I thought it came directly from Krishna only. So how it came, Prabhuji? Can you explain a little bit about that?
Yeah. See, actually, Lord Chaitanya, I'm glad you asked this question. So Krishna said, "Yada yada hi dharmasya glanirvavati bharata abhyutanam adharmasya." I forget the line. So he said, every yuga I come to establish the dharma. Matlab, each yuga, be it Kali Yuga, Dwapara Yuga, Satya Yuga, or Tetra Yuga, there is Yuga Dharma. That means which is the principle of a spiritual practice for that particular age. Okay. So for the example, Dwapara Yoga. If you go to the previous age, the practice of spiritual practices were recommended was to elaborate temple worship. Okay, so for this age, it is the chanting of the names of Krishna. Okay, so so Krishna came to give that chanting of the names of Krishna. So around 537 years back, he appeared in the region of Navadvip, which is present day around 150 200 kilometers away from Calcutta. So there he appeared, and he originally started this Krishna consciousness movement. See, what happened was, after Bhagavad Gita was given, there are a lot of many people did not become Krishna's devotee, isn't it?
Yeah.
So you see, so Krishna had to send so many acharyas, Ramanujacharya, Madhvacharya, so many people, but not very many people were taking the Krishna consciousness process. So he himself came. That is around 500 years back, and he himself started this process. Okay, so from there we have the ISKCON has roots from there. Okay. And more about it, you will know from a book called Chaitanya Charitamrita.
Chaitanya Charitamrita. Okay.
Yes, yes.
Okay, Prabhuji.
Okay. So I just because it's I just answered in brief. So from that book you can get life and precepts of Lord Chaitanya.
Okay, Prabhuji. This is enough for me, Prabhuji, because it has cleared the thing is very clear. It also came from Lord Krishna only in the form of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
Yes. So Lord Chaitanya, see, Krishna told, surrender unto me. Sarvadharman paritejam mamekam charanam vraja. Correct? Yeah. But he did not tell, Bhagavad Gita ended there. That's it. He said, you surrender unto me. But he did not tell the process of surrender. Okay. So therefore, he comes as Lord Chaitanya to teach us the process of surrendering to Krishna, and that is by chanting the Mahamantra.
Okay, Prabhuji. Now it's clear. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Right. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Jagdish Prabhu, you can ask your question. Unmute, please.
Hare Krishna, Suhas ji.
Hare Krishna, Jagdish.
Hare Krishna, Suhas ji.
Hare Krishna, Jagdish ji. Boliye.
Just a follow-up question. See, what is the process of a daily life of an individual? The process means I'm asking what all are the rituals which ISKCON per se is suggesting for an individual. Like earlier, we used to have do Pratah Sandhya Vandane and Madhyam and evening. So many other type of process was there. Once in 15 days, you do Aradhana and how much Ekadashis. So many rituals were there. And as I recollect, good old day, a few years or decades back, we stopped that all these rituals in the country, and most of the people we moved out of the rituals and say, fold your hands and just think God is always inside you, so you don't have to this thing. You call it as Ramaya, Krishnaya, Shiva. It is all same. Everything is reaching to God. And today again, we are again reviving, going back to the old books or old thought process and say that no, old thought process is still valid.
Yes.
So from that point of view, what's ISKCON's viewpoint and how relevant is the rituals in a daily life of an individual?
Okay. So these Sandhya Vandane and chanting the Gayatri mantras and is the other rituals, uh, they are to be performed with certain level of purification. Okay, that is why you have Upanayana. It starts with Garbhadana Samskara, correct? There are, I think, 12 samskaras that is recommended. Garbhadana Samskara, then Namakarana Samskara, like that. So there are purificatory processes at our different levels of our ages. Okay, like at birth there is Samskara, there is Upanayana Samskara, then there is marriage Samskara, like that. It goes on. So, so what happens is in each level, the person has to purify himself, and then he'll be qualified to do the next process, right? So in that case, what happens is if you take in the present scenario, these mantras have to be chanted with appropriate meters and appropriate level of purification. And if you don't do that, um, the problem is you may get some reactions to that. Okay, so what ISKCON is proposing, which I told you, it is starting from God Himself 500 years back, the Lord Krishna Himself as Lord Chaitanya. So all these rituals, whatever purification, everything is summarized, and if you just follow these principles contain everything. Just like 1 lakh rupees has 10 rupees, 100 rupees, 1000 rupees in it. So similarly, the 5 principles that ISKCON is proposing, if you do that, everything else is included. So for Gayatri Mantra, you have to chant properly. The appropriate use of meters and pronunciation is there. But for chanting the Hare Krishna Mantra, this is not a prerequisite. Anybody and everybody can chant. Namnamakari Bahuda, Nija Sarva Saktis, Tatrarpita Niyamita Smaranena Kala. So the Krishna's potency is there. Yeah, so Krishna's potency is there in this name, and there is no restriction of time, place, circumstance, nothing. So it is made easy. Still, it is made easier in this process. So you can chant this mantra anytime and any place. Okay. And in ISKCON, what happens? You want to know how the ISKCON devotee practices these principles? Hare Krishna, Mr. Jagdish, that is your question?
Yes, I wanted to know about that.
Yeah. So the first process is chanting this mantra. So that has to be practiced on the beat. Okay. So just 1 second. Such beads are available at temples. So we'll take that bead. This is for counting the mantra. So one round means you have chanted 108 times. Okay. So such chanting should be done 16 times. That is 108 into 16. So like if one round is over, then I will count it as one. Okay? Second round I will move this here. So like that I'm supposed to chant a serious devotee, supposed to chant 16 rounds of chanting every day. Okay. And then there is you see studying the shastras, Bhagavatam. First one must study Bhagavad Gita, and then Bhagavatam. Okay. And uh, you see there is a process of preparing the food offering to the Lord, and we take that as prasadam. In between these are called Bhagavat Vidhi. I mean, this is little deep, but I will just name it. These are called the Bhagavat Vidhi, and and in between this there is a Pancharatrika Vidhi. There is also you see worshipping the deities. So there are deities of Radha Krishna or deities of Lord Chaitanya. So like that, deities will be there, and but that worship of deities in ISKCON is very minimal. It is not very elaborate when compared to other temples. So we don't have that much elaborate worship of deities. So we have Prabhupada has kept the deity worship very minimal. And then the last process is of course looking after and watering the tulsi. So these five principles around which a devotee's life goes on. So Bhagavat Vidhi, what I mean is serving the pure devotee, that is a spiritual master. So our spiritual master is Srila Prabhupada, and we take his words, his instructions as life and soul. So Prabhupada wanted this message to be broadcasted to everybody. So we are humbly trying to broadcast this message of Bhagavad Gita to everybody in the form of you'd have seen devotees chanting on the street. They are distributing the books. They are distributing prasadam. So like that, this would be everyday routine of a devotee anywhere in the world.
Thank you, Suhasji, for letting know how to do and this. Thank you.
Yeah. Hare Krishna. Have I answered
Hare Krishna.
your question?
Yeah. My query was this only.
Yeah.
Because there's always a challenge. My house follows certain things, and I know very little about ISKCON and what they do. So I just wanted to know about it.
Yeah. Don't worry. You be with us. Stay connected. So as you see, days progress, you will pick it up. Don't worry about it.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Vidyasagar Prabhu, you can unmute.
Suhasji, Suhasji, once
Hare
again,
Krishna.
Hare
Please.
Krishna.
Please go on.
No, you were just mentioning about watering tulsi.
Yeah.
Is there any particular time this has to be done, like only in the morning or only in the evening? Is there anything like that, or is it normally we do it in the morning?
Yeah. ISKCON also we do only in the morning. Evening they say we should not. Evening we don't water. Morning one time we water the tulsi, and tulsi is a very devotee of very ordinate devotee of Lord Krishna. So we are praying to Mother Tulsi so that whatever her love is there for Krishna, she can share with us. So like that. So and while offering the food to Krishna, also we put tulsi leaves. So once tulsi leaf is put, Krishna can never reject it.
Oh, I see. Okay. That is the reason we find tulsi being used. Yes.
So all see, I'm wearing a kantimala. It is made up of. It is called kantimala neck lace. So this is also made up of tulsi, and I'm chanting Hare Krishna mantra. That's also made up of tulsi.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah.
That's very nice. So, and is there any particular place where we have to place the tulsi plant? Like they say it has to be at the entrance on the left side or right side. Is there anything like that?
That I am not aware. So Vidyasagar,
Okay.
I'm not sure about it. So in our temple, we don't mind. Everywhere where there is space, we would like to plant tulsi plants.
Okay. Okay.
Right.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Hare,
So
Hare
yeah,
Krishna,
yeah,
Hare
yeah.
Krishna,
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. I think no participants are asking any more questions.
Okay.
Will end, Prabhu?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, Prabhu. And I think one suggestion, Prabhu, I think we have not introduced how to do mala for the devotees, right, Prabhu? We have not taught them how to do
Once I
mala.
told, tomorrow we can do Mataji. Tomorrow is ninth
Yes,
chapter.
Prabhu.
We can.
Yeah, because we have done almost half, no, Prabhu. Then tomorrow is the best time. You can just teach them how to hold the mala and how to do it, and so people will, along with reading Bhagavad Gita, let them do also one kind of chanting.
Sure.
Yes,
Oh, okay. So you can chant
Okay,
Mataji,
Prabhu.
Panchakalpatarubhya.
Yes, Hare Krishna. Panchakalpatarubhascha kripa sindhueva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavyo namo namaha. Ananta Koti Vaishnavrind ki jai.
Jai.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna Mataji, Shri Vidya Mataji, Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna. Hare Krishna, Shobha Mataji. Hare
Thank
Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. So I thank the admins, both of you, for helping me, and also
Thank
the
you so much.
participants. So
Thank
so
you.
tomorrow we'll
Thank
meet
you.
at 9. Okay? Hare
Yes, Prabhuji. Such a detailed and elaborate explanation. We are so lucky that we can hear. Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Hare.
And
Hare.
we need to get
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Panchanagri Prabhu example, no Prabhu? Very nice, Prabhu. That's really,
Yeah.
I got
Yeah.
goosebumps. Even I watched on the YouTube, I watched his all the this one and other. They had his memory day also. No, I was listening to devotees talking about Panchanagri Das Prabhu.
Yeah,
Very
yeah.
exalted devotee, very bhakti, no Prabhu. Many
Yeah,
won't have a
See, yeah, correct.
Yes.
He never agreed. He never agreed for mechanical ventilation. He said, "I will go back and leave my body in Mayapur." So that was yeah.
Yeah, Prabhu. Very nice. Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare
Thank you so
Krishna.
much.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Prabhu, thank you.